Hey everyone, welcome back to ChaatNChat. मेरा नाम जोश है,
मेरा नाम मिगेल है
और हम हिंदी मीडियम देख रहे हैं। ये पार्ट 3 है, तो अगर पार्ट 1 या पार्ट 2 मिस हो गया, फिर इस वीडियो के नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में उनके लिंक मिल सकते हैं और देखकर वापस आइए पार्ट 3 के लिए। और अगर अब तक नहीं किया, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और लाइक बटन पर थप्पड़ मारो।
तू समझ।
अच्छा सुन, मैं जरा पेशाब करके आ रहा हूँ, तू यहीं रुकियो, हिलियो मत। सुन, दो मिनट में आ रहा हूँ।
Oh my god.
अरे ये मेरी गाड़ी के आगे खुद आया। जानबूझ के सामने
क्या करो भाई साहब?
जानबूझ के सामने इधर क्या हो गया? इधर क्या हो गया? गाड़ी साइड पे लगा ले। गाड़ी
I think he did it on purpose.
I mean, he backed into a street without looking, yeah.
कोई ना भाई।
अस्पताल लेके चल इसको।
हाँ भाई साहब, ये
अस्पताल
क्लिनिक पहुँचा दो।
बैठ खड़ी।
बस यहीं पे। ये ले, ये पकड़।
क्या है?
20,700 है, अब रह गए 3,300।
तू उसके लिए गाड़ी क्या गया है?
अरे तो क्या हुआ?
Wow. The lengths they go to, right? Like, that is horrible. And what is going through his mind? Like, because he knows he has the money, and then this guy that was a stranger to him like a couple weeks ago did all that just for him.
आज हम राइट टू एजुकेशन के तहत लॉटरी करेंगे। जिसका नाम निकलेगा वो यहाँ अनाउंस कर दिया जाएगा एंड दैट चाइल्ड विल बी रजिस्टर्ड फॉर एडमिशन इन आवर स्कूल।
Wait, so they gotta go through the drawing again?
विनीता पगू।
So it's totally random at this point.
Yeah.
It's not on merit or anything.
Right.
You know, whereas they imply
Well,
the
because they
others.
wouldn't really have merit because of the community they're coming from.
True.
पिया बत्रा।
This is.
Especially since they were told they were already in before, and now.
पापा मेरा नाम कब आएगा?
हाँ, आएगा बेटा।
आएगा।
Last name.
अमोल माझी। कंग्रेचुलेशंस उन सभी को जो आज यहाँ से और माफी चाहेंगे उन सबसे।
Now that's got to make him feel super guilty because he sees who could have been in her spot.
Right.
Maybe one more name being pulled could have been his instead of Pia.
And they know the anguish that he's feeling and that they're feeling for their son.
सॉरी पापा।
Oh, it's not his fault.
समझे? लॉटरी थी है, किस्मत से निकलती है।
तो हमारी किस्मत अच्छी नहीं है ना पापा?
अरे ये किसने कही तुमसे?
भाई यार सॉरी यार।
अरे भाई तूने क्या शकल उतार ली? यार तू तो यूं कर रहा जैसे तूने सीट ले ली इसकी।
Kind of.
क्या मुंह लटका रखा सबने? अरे पार्टी होगी आज।
नहीं शाम।
अरे हमारी बच्ची का हुआ।
हाँ,
मत कर
इसकी
यार,
जरूरत
मत कर
नहीं है।
मेगा पार्टी।
अरे
अरे
ये मत कर यार। ये सब मत कर यार।
अरे पार्टी है आज।
अरे यार
They're seeing the other side of it, you know. Before it was just kind of fantasy, not so real.
फिर भाभी कुछ और दिन।
अरे नई नौकरी मिली है,
हाँ, बस
यहीं जा रहे हैं, यहीं पास में। भाई तरक्की करो पर भूल मत जाना हमें।
अरे भाई जिंदगी बनी गुरु यार।
ये किस लिए?
राशन है बस, दाल चावल। अरे 1-2 दिन
चलो आ
चल
जाओ।
Oh, gee. What a community. When you don't have as much material things, I think you form a tighter community, you know, because you got to be closer
Yeah.
to survive.
And you appreciate so many smaller little things that when you have abundance, you take for granted. Pani is a great example. I mean, in the house, okay, as opposed to you have to go and get it. So, I mean, that sort of stuff it changes how you are and just how you behave.
खाना खाओ ना। तुम्हारी पसंद की बनी है सब्जी।
No appetite. Man, he's probably feeling so guilty.
हमारे बच्चे के एडमिशन के लिए बंदा गाड़ी के आगे आ गया। अपनी जान दांव पे लगा दी उसने। हम साले इतने हरामी हैं। हम उसके बच्चे की सीट खा गए यार।
And the problem is that the schools are doing this to everyone against each other. they're all, in a sense, stealing the seat from each other. It's, oh.
आजकल तो सारे पेरेंट्स ने प्राइवेट स्कूल्स की रट लगा रखी है। हमारे यहाँ तो गरीबों के बच्चे आते हैं, अब उनकी तो किन्हीं को पड़ी नहीं है।
हमें पड़ी है ना, इसीलिए तो हम छोटा सा कंट्रीब्यूशन करना चाहते हैं।
अब देखिए ना, केवल 50,000 रुपए में उनके लिए बेंचेस आ जाएंगे जी। जब जब बच्चा पढ़ने के लिए किताब उठाएगा, तब तब आपका नाम सामने लिखा हुआ पाएगा जी।
I don't think they want their names on the benches.
अब सोचिए, जब जब बच्चा यहाँ सुसु करने आएगा, तब तक वो आपका नाम यहाँ लिखा
No,
हुआ।
we don't need our
Oh,
name.
no, I don't need to
we-
see the name when you pee.
Yeah. They got their own extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
बच्चे तो बहुत है हमारे स्कूल में, लेकिन आपने तो सिर्फ एक को ही स्पॉन्सर करना है।
ना जी, एक को क्या सभी को कर देंगे? एक को करने से कोई फायदा नहीं है ना, पूरे स्कूल को फायदा होना चाहिए।
They got a good beat.
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting a full makeover.
Bits of paper lying on the floor makes the place untidy.
Is it the school that he's going to?
Pick them up.
शाबाश बेटा।
बताओ सर, कोई मानेगा एक मजदूर का बच्चा अंग्रेजी बोल रहा?
ये तो दूसरे लोग हैं जिनकी वजह से ये बदलाव देख रहे हो तुम, है जी?
नाम पता मिल सकता है? धन्यवाद करना उनका।
Oh, they want to be anonymous. Oh, it's gonna fall apart.
32।
He gave them the address.
तुम चाबी लेके, अरे भाई साहब,
राज,
क्या?
तू यहाँ क्या कर रहा? तूने ये अपने साहब से मिलकर मेरे मोहन की सिफारिश लगाई है कि नहीं?
मेरे हिसाब से बोल के मैंने तेरे मोहन की सिफारिश लगाई है यार। हाँ
यार, मोहन को नहीं भूला भाई तू? हैं?
अरे कैसे भूल जाऊं यार?
Oh, he thinks he's like a nokar.
A what?
Like a servant, like a house servant.
अरे मुझे शुक्रिया बोलना उन्हें।
शुक्रिया मैं कह दूंगा।
हाँ।
मैं कर दूंगा।
ये
मैं बोल
देना।
दूंगा। मैं बोल दूंगा। शाम आया था। शाम बहुत
बस यार,
खुश
ऐसे
था
देवता का
कि
दर्शन हो
उसका
जाए।
स्कूल का नक्शा बदल गया बच्चे का, बहुत खुश था और केले।
He's gonna walk into your house. He's gonna see family photos.
आज काम बहुत है यार, काम निपटाना, सारे घर की सफाई करनी है।
अरे काम की तूने बड़ी बात कर दी भाई।
क्या?
दोनों भाई मिलके काम करेंगे, हाथ बटाऊंगा भाई का।
नहीं
ला
नहीं
यारा,
नहीं
कहाँ से लाऊं?
Oh, jeez, dude, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
जब नौकरी से निकाल ही देना था तो साफ साफ बोल देते ना साहब।
Yeah.
Saab.
So he
She
you
called
know,
him Saab.
yeah.
अरे तुम साहब क्यों बोल रही हो उसे?
तू चुप रहे। साहब को साहब नहीं बोलेंगे तो और क्या बोलेंगे?
Yup, jig is up, dude. You made it a lot worse. So much worse.
ये साहब है?
अरे यही तो है इस घर के साहब। पता नहीं कहाँ से लेके आते हैं।
देख भाई शाम प्रकाश, क्या है यार?
You can't. There's no excuse.
अरे यार बच्ची के लिए हो गया यार।
यार तुम्हें जरा सी भी दया नहीं है मेरे बच्चे के लिए? हैं? उसका हक मारते हो भाई। हमें खैरात नहीं चाहिए, मुझे मेरे बच्चे का हक चाहिए।
That is.
मुझे सही लगा अपनी बच्ची के लिए तुमने वो करा।
He's telling the truth.
मुझे जो सही लगेगा मैं वो करूंगा अपने बच्चे के लिए।
Whoa. You think he's gonna go and rat him out?
राज, अगर उसने डेली ग्रामर स्कूल में कंप्लेन कर दिया ना, तो पुलिस सीधा घर आएगी।
अरे नहीं यार,
अगर तुम्हें पुलिस लेके,
Oh, here she goes.
अगर उसने डिप्रेशन में आके ड्रग्स लेना शुरू कर दिया तो?
अरे यार बस कर दो यार। मेरे समझ में नहीं आता सारी कहानी
तो-
में ड्रग।
Yeah, with Pia doing drugs. Exactly. Pia doing drugs.
Walk in a line, please.
शामू अंकल, मेरा नया स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म कैसा है?
बहुत बढ़िया बच्चा।
मोहन का है शामू अंकल।
बेटा मोहन तो वही है जहाँ था।
Pia, come back in line.
बाय शामू अंकल।
They're all trapped in a no-win situation. They're trying to do the best for their daughter. He's trying to do the best for his son, and it's just they're both fighting. And they're not the enemies. It's the system.
And you know who's going to get hurt is the kids.
Yeah, and
आज आखिरी बार यार आखिरी बार एक बात मान लो प्लीज प्लीज
देख बेटा मैंने जिंदगी भर ना अच्छा हस्बैंड बनने की कोशिश की है
पता है यार
yeah, and this time I'm going to have to tell.
ये पिया बत्रा का फॉर्म आरटी कैटेगरी से निकालकर जनरल कैटेगरी में डाल दीजिए।
जी मैडम।
ये फाइल हटा दीजिए।
The general category.
हमारे स्कूल को आप जैसे पेरेंट्स की बहुत जरूरत है।
नहीं मैडम, इस सीट के ऊपर उस श्याम प्रकाश के बच्चे मोहन का हक है।
ये सीट मैं गरीब बच्चे को दे दूं, इससे मेरा क्या फायदा होगा?
What?
आप तो खुद एक गरीब।
हाँ कहिए, आप हिचकिचा क्यों रहे हैं? मैं तो ये भी भूल गई थी कि मेरे क्लासमेट्स मुझे किस तरह ट्रीट करते थे।
तो आप ये कह रही हैं कि आप मोहन को इस सीट पे एडमिशन नहीं देंगी?
वाह, आप तो अब मन की बात भी पढ़ लेते हैं मिस्टर बत्रा।
Dude, I had her wrong the entire time.
इस सीट के ऊपर मोहन का हक है और ये मैं उसे दिलवा के रहूंगा, और उसके लिए ना मैं किसी भी हद तक चला जाऊंगा।
मैं तो बहुत डर गई मिस्टर बत्रा।
Oh, she nasty.
ये कहा आप? प्रेस, पॉलिटिशियंस, पुलिस, लेकिन इन सब के बच्चे तो यहीं पढ़ते हैं।
Man, I thought she was like the straight and narrow sort of.
I thought she was going to be an actual angel saint, but she's not.
No, she's horrible.
Delhi Grammar School. Your children will come here as students, but they will leave as leaders. So let's begin today's celebration.
Oh, what are they planning?
Planning a revolt.
Judgment Day.
These are the students from the other school.
Yeah. Yeah. I love their instruments. Oh, it's collaboration. Wow, a standing ovation.
Oh, जी 3 cheers for the बच्चास. Hip hip hip. Hip hip hip. And now 3 cheers for the बच्चास of Bharat Nagar Sarkari School. Hip hip hip.
Oh, hooray.
ओए, no coming near, no touching. ओए, आगे बता ना, आगे बता. अरे तेरी
He's going hard.
मार मार के भूस भर देना है. पीछे चला जा, पीछे चला जा.
He's like Chandni Chowk Street coming out.
तो हमारे पास बड़ी बड़ी गाड़ियां हैं जी, बड़े बड़े घर हैं, लेकिन अंग्रेजी हमारी छोटी है. लोग हंसते हैं हम पे, मेरे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन मेरी बीवी को पड़ता है. इसने बहुत कोशिश की कि मैं भी चमक चमक जाऊं जी, थोड़ा हाई फाई हो जाऊं, सोफिस्टिकेट हो जाऊं. मैं फेल हो गया मेरी जान. अब तो यहाँ पे सोफिस्टिकेट की स्पेलिंग मत पूछ लियो, मैंने तो साली वो. ये बच्चे हमारे बच्चों के साथ पढ़ेंगे, मैले कुचले कपड़े पहन के आएंगे, चोरियां करेंगे, गालियां बकेंगे, लेकिन इन्होंने आज साबित कर दिया. इन बच्चों को इस स्कूल में एडमिशन मिलेगा ना, तो ये रॉकेट की तरह आसमान फाड़ के निकल जाएंगे बाहर. इनको यहाँ एडमिशन देके आप कोई एहसान नहीं कर रहे हैं, बल्कि ये आप पे एहसान कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, validating news.
लेकिन इनको एडमिशन हम यहाँ नहीं देंगे, because parents like us who do fraud and headmaster like her who's ready to eat their chance. और आजकल पढ़ाई पढ़ाई नहीं है जी, ये धंधा है धंधा.
Yeah.
इसलिए मैं अपनी बच्ची को इस स्कूल से आज निकालता हूँ.
Oh, probably first ever to do that, to rescind their admission.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? I mean, it was inspirational. Like,
Yeah.
give it to.
Yeah.
Oh,
See. Yeah. They're all going to be that way.
because they're worried about their children.
Yep.
गवर्नमेंट स्कूल का हाल इसलिए बुरा है कि कोई अपने बच्चे वहां नहीं भेजना चाहता।
हाँ जी।
तो हम भेजेंगे अपनी पिया को आपके स्कूल।
Yep.
And they have enough money for like tutors and all that sort
Yep.
of stuff. So if they really want her to learn
And
English really well,
and they
could get
start
tutors.
making that a great school, and everybody there wants to start going there.
सरकारी स्कूल में बच्ची मेरी जैसी हो जाएगी।
Looks like
चाहती
you're
हूँ
not.
हमारी पिया तुम जैसी हो जाए,
Yeah.
जिसे खुद पर यकीन हो।
ओ बस इतनी तारीफ सुनने की आदत नहीं है मीता।
Yeah.
That was a lot deeper than I thought it was going to get.
Yeah, it dove into social issues in a comical and yet in a very poignant way too, because again, so many people could learn so much in their life at learning how to be poor.
What I really liked though is when he was talking about what everyone's fears are about having these kids in their school with like their soiled clothing or their bad manners and that sort of stuff. He saw better manners and culture and friendliness and good spirits when he was living in Bhagat Nagar.
Yeah.
And the community and everyone willing to help out, everyone coming together, seeing someone being so selfless to help somebody out, like him and his family, even though they just met,
Right.
giving his own rations to this family, giving his own salary to him so that he doesn't go home
himself in
empty-handed.
front of a car.
Throwing himself in front of a car.
wow.
Now when you compare and contrast that to the very beginning, when Pio was sitting with all the other kids and they're like, oh no, I won't talk to her because she doesn't speak English.
She doesn't speak English,
Yeah.
and she's too poor,
And they don't want to
and
have
her-
fun, they don't dance.
and yeah, and her family is a tradesperson. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh geez, you know, a tradesperson has a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's like I find that so bizarre how people can be discriminatory. Yeah, I mean, it's purely discriminatory just because you don't know that person, but you've already put a label and a covering on them by what they do or where they live or what they wear, what they drive. And the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. And it's like, wow, you know, a lot of this touched on a lot of things for me personally. I mean, a lot of people think, you know, I'm just a white guy, but I'm not a white guy. I'm mixed descent. I have family that is very Hispanic, and you know, many of them are quite poor. I've always grown up, and I didn't come from a wealthy family to start. A lot of these kinds of issues have come up for me in life where people assume certain things by my name. They've never seen me personally, and just by my name, they make certain assumptions. Then they meet me in person and they're like, okay, this is unexpected. During the dot bomb era, and I and a lot of other techies in the Bay Area were thrown out. You know, we all got fired. We all lost our jobs. There was just this implosion of the market. I was doing odd jobs of all sorts. And one that in particular, some of the hardest labor I'd ever done was cater waitering. Okay, at these large social events where I'm carrying trays of 20 plates to a table. And the majority of the staff in the kitchen and serving was Latino and Hispanic, and I got along great with them because we'd be speaking Spanish, and you know, many of them would just say, why are you doing this? Why, you know, and I was the token white boy engineer, and you know, I would tell them, I don't have a job. And they're like, and you're willing to do this? And I would say, yeah, I gotta put food on the table, I gotta pay my bills, and they were amazed that I would do that because they know that a lot of people would not. And I didn't think less of them. I treated them as my peers. You know, I got to know a lot of them. I still have a few friends of them. I just have always felt as though you have to get to know people, and everyone comes from a different life experience, a different background. That's how you really connect with people, and we shouldn't be, you know, doing all this other stuff of discriminating against each other, assuming certain things about certain people and certain groups and so forth. It doesn't do anybody any good. So I got on a soapbox there, sorry.
So this made a lot of commentary on a lot of different things. Sure, the discriminatory, but also the different classes of living too, right? So where they come from, they have this idea of how the other side lives. You know, it's like you give a country mouse all this money and just say, okay, now here's all the money. What are you gonna do with it?
Right,
oh well,
right.
I'm gonna like live the way I think people are gonna live.
Right.
You know, like wear Coach necklaces and Prada glasses and you know Gucci this and
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah.
So it was interesting, and I like the development that, and in the beginning, his wife was all like, oh, I need to change you. You need to start getting that Chandni Chowk out of you and start living like that Vasant Vihar hi-fi life. You know, it's interesting because then towards the end, she started realizing that that's all the superficial stuff, you know, like trying to change him into this guy where he was amazing the entire time. And what made him special and that amazing guy is his roots from the communities from in Chandni Chowk and his upbringing and all of that, which,
Right.
you know, like, sure, you can learn English and all that, but that's just a facade,
Right,
you know,
right.
and it's like not the character. I also like how this shows a little bit how they try to make it about student versus student. Like, oh, this student is taking that student's seat, or this student's taking that student's seat, instead of that the real issue is with the schools themselves. Because the big thing that this was showing, I'm unfamiliar a lot with Indian school system because when I was going to school in India, I was in a diplomat school,
Right, right.
an embassy school. So I didn't know
Didn't
any
experience
of
that,
No, I
yeah.
didn't experience any of that. But from what I can see and learn from this movie is that the government schools need more, like the issue is there,
Right.
Because not enough people are interested in that because the schools are drab and they're falling apart. And so it's all of these private schools. And yeah, here in the US, like private
Same
schools are
thing.
amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
But government schools, I mean, it's a hit and a miss. It depends on the area code that you live in.
Lives on the
right?
area code. Also depends on how active the local parents are, you know, the local politics of your particular district and so forth. So.
But the difference that one family made in this to
Right.
that one school,
Cool.
and all of those parents, if they could all give a little bit to
Yep.
the schools, I mean, all
Yep.
of those
Exactly.
families,
Exactly.
it would make a huge difference.
It would.
I mean, that's one of the best forms of giving back is because when I was living in New York, I lived in this community that was kind of like a little rundown, but then they increased the taxes, like income tax in my area because they needed the schools to fund the schools more, right?
Yeah.
And I was okay with that because one of the things is the more money that you put in school and education and after school programs and all that sort of stuff, it helps your community.
Exactly.
Because the more your community is being funded and with their education and the kids are doing extracurriculars and all these different things, the less they are going out and being part of gangs and
Right. Well-
doing drugs with Pia.
People have always asked me, they say, you don't have kids. Why are you paying taxes on for the schools?
community.
Because I believe that it builds the community. It builds for the future of the community.
Yeah.
If you have educated people, then you end up with a better society overall.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
you know, and in particular in schools now, kids are fed. So a lot of times when you have the issue of food scarcity for families who are in much lower economics, by funding schools, you are funding their feeding of the kids, making sure they're getting 3, decent meals so that they're not starving.
at least
And-
one decent
and,
meal.
well, most of them have breakfast and then lunch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in California they did.
Great.
And then they also had food banks for extended periods during breaks. It was very cool.
So how many pani puri would you rate it?
Well, speaking of food, I actually like this very much, and so I'm going to give it an 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am going to give this one a 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I love the commentary that it made. Irrfan Khan is amazing. His character was just so down to earth and just such a wonderful, beautiful human being. And I loved all the commentary that they were making throughout the movie. The music was just gorgeous. Every time those kids started singing, I got goosebumps. Like I was just like, oh man, I could listen to that song on repeat. Like if I'm having like a down day, like if I'm having like one of those hard days, put that song on, and then I'm just like, yes, like okay, because it's all about like believing in yourself. And yes, like you only have this one life, and having but there's so many things that you want in this life, and you go and get it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you don't let others hold you back, and you create it, right?
That whole student musical montage thing reminded me at one point the movie Fame. I don't know if you know that movie.
I've never seen it.
We should watch it sometime. I think you would really like it a lot.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, it's very good. I liked it. And the acting was, I think there was so many good, even the side characters. I loved the sister that helped her learn how to be poor.
Yeah.
Witch?
Yeah, what'd you say? Witch?
Witch?
Okay. That's just learned that word. All right, let's go.
So I like when a movie has secondary supporting characters that are very, very strong, and you can relate to them. So
Yeah. All right, well, you guys let us know in the comments what you thought. What rating would you give it? Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a perfect movie. I love it. The rewatchability. I would rewatch this.
yeah,
You know,
I'm sure there were lots of things that we missed about the little things again that we just we love trying to find, and sometimes there's too many. We can't see them all.
yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, you want to see more videos like these, then be sure to click that bell icon, turn on all notifications, so when we release more videos in the future, you can be notified. और like button पर थप्पड़ मारो.